Welcome to Women's Sports Weekly, where women's sports happens every day, but we talk about it once a week. I'm Carolyn.
And I'm Danielle. Women's Sports Weekly is a podcast where we discuss the latest news, explore interesting stories, and share our love for women's sports. Follow us on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok at Women's Sports Weekly Pod. Follow us and rate us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. How you doing today, Carolyn?
Today, oh my gosh, I'm tired. I think the problem is that we record over the weekend, and when we get to the end of the weekend, we just get a little sleepy, you know?
Yes. We did watch a lot of WNBA this weekend.
Yes.
We did a lot of other things too. So yeah, I think being tired is normal at the end of a weekend.
And we've been watching a lot of WNBA all week.
For sure. We had the opportunity to go to a WNBA watch party on Thursday night with the WNBA Club Denver we've talked about before. This was a different type of setting, which was cool. They still brought out a bunch of people from the area and we all watched together. And they were the last regular season games before playoffs took place on Sunday. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. So usually the WNBA Club hosts the watch parties at breweries, places like that. And this time they hosted it at a restaurant called the Ginger Pig. We can give them some free marketing. I'm wearing their shirt today because we won a raffle. So cool. If you have a WNBA club in your area, in your city, they're popping up everywhere. I strongly encourage you to go because, like I've said before, it is a great way to meet like-minded people. And we just had such a fun time. And they had the games going. We had such good food. It was a lot of fun. We got a planter.
Yes.
Hold on. Show everybody on camera the planter.
So
there was someone there making
WNBA planter.
But now you have to describe it for those who only listen to us.
Yes, very true. So this is a WNBA ball. It is multicolored, so it doesn't look like your typical WNBA ball. Oops. It says things like Queen, WNBA. It's really, I love the colors.
What are the colors?
Like teal, orange, purple, black, white. It's really great. Now, we have not put a plant in it yet.
Not yet.
But we will. And my plan is to hang it where we record and also my office during the week. And we get some good lighting in the corner. So I think it's going to be really good.
The person who makes them, Orange Like the Peel on Instagram, they cut out the top of the ball and then you can put a plant in the top of the ball and the bottom of the ball is showing. And then you have your plant coming out. And it's just so cool. We had our eyes on this. It goes with our room, which is kind of like a blue purpley vibe. It's going to be super cute. And we knew they were going to be there and we were like, we got to get a planter.
Yes. And I'm really, really happy with it. We also did trivia Friday night and this was a sports trivia. Naturally, it was not focused around women's sports, but we got lucky and were able to pick a women's sports category. I just have to say we swept it.
We did sweep it. So this was an interesting trivia setup because they had categories and based on your previous round, you could pick which category. So they had all of these sports listed and we saw basketball and we were like, okay, let's try our hand at basketball. Even if it's the MNBA, I think we might be able to cover some of it. And then within the category, you could pick another category. And within that was WNBA as one of the options.
I forget what the host called it, but he didn't even get through all the categories. And Carolyn, you just decided to scream across the bar that we wanted that category. And he literally said, wow, no one's ever picked before I've gotten through all of them.
I knew what I wanted and we swept the whole category. It was so fun. And I was thinking in my head that we need to do women's sports trivia. We would love to attend that.
Yeah. And then Saturday was also a lot of fun. You met me after my long run to get coffee. We had some drinks with my run club and that was a great day.
One of my favorite things to do with you is have a coffee date on a weekend. That means that we're not too busy. We can meet up somewhere. You ran your 18 miles, which who does that? I met you out. I went to the gym. I just wanted to be on record that I did move my body in a way while Danielle was exerting herself for 18 miles. But then we had such a nice little date on Saturday morning. And then we got to meet up with friends and have some beers. It was really nice.
Then I got to switch up my route versus just running my normal route, starting and ending at home. It was nice to end in a different neighborhood and you just to meet me there. It forced me to run somewhere new. And then it was nice of you to bring me some change of clothes. I love, love, love our coffee dates. It is one of my favorites. So that was great. And then Sunday,
we had our own WNBA watch party, which was fun.
Had some friends over, watched the playoff games, and
ate so much food.
I ate a lot. And you said it. You were like, this feels like a Sunday in New Jersey because
we just had food out on the table and just more food coming and coming. I ate all day.
And I feel like usually we're more active on Sundays. We're out and about, we're doing things, and we're just gonna chill and watch some basketball games and eat all the snacks. It was a lot of fun.
So many WNBA games. But let's get into our highlight reel for this week. What do you have for us?
Before we get into the WNBA, which we will talk a lot about today, wanted to shout out number 1 Pitt Volleyball. They are off to an historic start, winning 9 straight matches, and they've been sweeping all of their matches, which means they've just been winning the first 3 games out of their best out of 5 for 9 straight matches. Their most recent win was Sunday over Marquette, another sweep. Another big win this past week included a sweep of their cross-state rival, number 3 Penn State, which was anticipated to be this huge game. They also did it in front of a school record volleyball crowd of 11,800 fans. And I just love to see people come out and support this team.
I was watching the Pitt Penn State game. I didn't know that when you're on defense, I knew you could put your hands straight up at the net. I didn't know you could put your hands way over the net while the person who has the volleyball is trying to kill it down your throat. You're actually, if you are tall enough and strong enough, you're able to put your hands over and almost lock them, like get into their way. I was so surprised by that. I should have known that, but to see it in slow motion, I was like, oh my gosh, their arms are so long that they're able to be above the net and block the ball in a way that is really in the offense's face.
And you can't touch the net, so that's also really hard to do because you're really hanging over and not touching anything with your body. Some shout outs to some of the top players. Sophomore Olivia Babcock is leading the team in kills with 115 on the season.
She's so cute. I love a tooth gap in teeth.
You do.
We're going to talk about it later because when we get into what we're getting into, we're going to talk about it. But I was like, wow, that little gap is just the cutest thing I've ever seen.
And what a badass to be a sophomore and leading the team in a huge stat with kills. Then you have Rachel Fairbanks, who's leading the team in attacks with 226.
Okay, hold on. What is an attack? Because we talked about kills. I know a kill is when you hit the ball and get a point for your team. But what is an attack?
An attack is an attempt to hit the ball into the opponent's court.
So just getting it over the net is an attack. Got it.
She's leading the team with that. And then you have senior Emma Klicka, who is leading the team with 89 digs.
And digs is defensive.
Correct. The team overall is having a great start to their season. Like I said, historic start. Excited to see what they continue to do.
And these volleyball teams are beating up on each other. They're all switching in the top 10 because number 2 beats number 5. Number 5 beats number 3. And everything is kind of just switching around. I'm excited to see what happens.
With that, we talked about the WNBA, how we've been watching. So let's get into some of the big highlights that happened this week.
First, let's start with the WNBA announced their 15th expansion team to Portland.
Yeah.
We're excited for you, Portland.
We're excited about the expansion. What I'm not excited about is it's not Denver, but to be honest, we knew it wasn't going to be Denver.
Yeah. And I need to make a pitch right now that Denver needs to get its shit together so that we can get this team. They announced that they're going to have a 16th team by 2028. They have some cities on the short list. I'm going to name some of them. Nashville, Miami, Philly, Boston, Denver is still on that short list. Nashville or Miami, we're going to go to Tennessee or Florida. I'm sorry. I'm not going to poop on these states. But when we compare what those states are working with to Denver, I'm just like, we can't put a team in Florida or Nashville, Tennessee.
I know. And I was listening to another podcast. I do enjoy this podcast, but I'm pissed because they were saying that Nashville or South Florida would be good for this other team. And I'm
Come
like,
at us
no,
if you think
it will
that.
not. We need a team in Denver. We do not have a women's sports team. We have the base. We have the fans. We are ready for a team. And I am just done hearing that Denver is not going to be the city where we expand. I don't understand it.
And I don't really get the Nashville draw.
No, I don't either. At
it's
all.
so strange to me. I can get Miami. You have the Miami Heat there. However, I'm more interested not on how big the men's sports are, but how are the women's sports doing? And I know that Denver doesn't have any, but Miami to me does not seem like the most friendly place for women's sports. And maybe not Miami, Florida. doesn't seem like the most friendly place.
Yeah.
Nashville, Tennessee does not seem like the most friendly place for women's sports. If you're thinking about how can I make money and how can I make sure that these expansion teams are successful, I understand Portland, even though I think we have way too many along the West Coast and in California, Seattle, and now Portland. But I'm not really getting the Nashville and the Miami.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, what we've learned is what it's going to come down to is an investment.
Yeah.
Hello, Denver. Rich people in Denver, please invest in a WNBA team. I am begging.
Because the other options are Philly or Boston. And I actually think Philly or Boston would both be really good opportunities.
But they're not Denver.
They're not Denver, but Boston already has the PWHL.
Yeah.
And so they're starting to build something. I think Philly as well. I think anywhere in that Northeast area is going to be successful for a women's team. However, when you look at the map, there is a big gap in the Midwest. And Denver is not the Midwest, where the Rocky
Kinda
Mountain.
Southwest.
Yeah, Rocky Mountain region. And I understand why you're not throwing them in the Midwest, because there's not a lot of people there, right? The amount of people are lower even in the cities, but Denver is a major city that is very close to the Midwest. Why are we not filling that gap? And you're exactly right. It comes down to investors. We have Phoenix Mercury putting together a $100 million practice facility. I don't think when Kathy Engelbert came here in August of 2023, I don't think the Denver investors that got together showed her, and by no means does it need to be totally new, $100 million, but you got to show up with something.
Right.
And you got to show up with more than a small college and say, this is where they're going to practice.
Yeah.
Especially with how we're expanding, we need more.
These women deserve more.
That's
They
exactly
deserve
right.
their own practice facilities.
Yeah.
They deserve stadiums where they can play. I mean, you've seen it be successful with the Kansas City Current. You just said the Phoenix Mercury is expanding. So I only hope that could be done wherever we do expand.
And what the Valkyries have, what they've released, looks amazing. It is not the time to say that women's sports can go and practice where college folks can practice. Give them something of their own. It doesn't need to be $100 million. It would be great if it was, but give them something so that we can start attracting. There have to be people in Denver who have money, who want to make more money. Where are you? And start attracting them. You are going to miss out on a lot of money, and it's only going to get more expensive to have a team because of how much women's sports is exploding. It seems so dumb to me that someone would not want to take that on, that a family wouldn't want to take that on. Where are our billionaires? I know they're out there somewhere.
Yeah.
Are they listening to Women's Sports Weekly? Probably not.
If you're listening and you know a billionaire that has some extra money and they need something to do,
They can call us.
Yes.
I'll do everything.
we
I
would
will do-
gladly do the work
I will
for
do
a WNBA
all
team.
of the work. Just let me spend your money. The only problem why we are not starting a WNBA team, because we always said if we won the lottery, that's exactly the first thing that we would do is create a WNBA team here in Denver. The only reason why we're not is because we don't have $1 billion.
Correct.
Scout, what do you think?
Do you have $1 billion?
Our dog Scout just entered into the frame.
I think you should help us out. And with that, I guess we should talk about the playoff highlights.
Let's do it. What are the rankings that we're working with in these playoffs?
That is a great question, because at the last time we recorded, we
didn't
didn't even
have
have
it.
an 8th team. With this first round of playoffs, you have New York Liberty at number 1, Minnesota Lynx at number 2, number 3 being the Connecticut Sun, 4 Las Vegas Aces, 5 Seattle Storm, 6 Indiana Fever, 7 the Phoenix Mercury, and 8 the Atlanta Dream.
1 plays 8, 2 plays 7, so on, so on.
We won't go through all the games we watched on Sunday, and this is a best out of 3 series, so this doesn't even mean who's moving forward, but there are teams who have that first win. But we will highlight one of the more exciting games we saw, being the Minnesota Lynx and the Phoenix Mercury.
Mercury.
Hold
Hold on, can you try to say Mercury?
Mercury.
No, that wasn't
I'm
actually
saying
Hold on, but can you try to say it like me?
Mercury.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem right.
Mercury.
Mercury.
All
right. The Minnesota Lynx beat the Phoenix Mercury 102-95. Nafisa Collier, who's been having a tremendous year, led all scorers with a new career high of 38 points. Unreal. And with that, former Notre Dame Irish, you know I love the Irish, Kayla McBride also contributed a lot with 20 points. So they obviously were having themselves a day.
Who is your team that you're picking to win the finals?
I've been saying it for a few weeks now. I think it's going to be the Lynx.
They look so good.
I think you have your obvious picks who you could easily go to, being New York Liberty because they're number one and they've been playing well this year, and Las Vegas Aces won the past 2 years, so it'd be cool to see them win a three-peat. But I just think the Lynx are scary good.
They are.
Watching them on Sunday, they were really gelling. They get so fired up for each other. You have Nafisa Collier, who's just been playing incredibly, and if she continues to play like that and if they continue to play like that, I don't know who's beating them.
It's true.
Who do you have winning?
I made a bracket and I have the Minnesota Lynx winning it.
Nice.
I think the New York Liberty could do it if they get their shit together, but I don't know. The Minnesota Lynx look good right now.
Yeah, and no offense to the Liberty, but Brianna Stewart did struggle on Sunday.
She couldn't hit a layup if she
I feel like
if she had $1 billion, she couldn't hit a layup.
Poor Brianna Stewart. I'm sorry. You are an amazing player. Just had a rough day and they still won. I just think the Minnesota Lynx are hitting their stride at the perfect time and continue to do so. They finished the first quarter with a 13-point lead. In the first half, at some point, they were up 23 points. And believe it or not, Phoenix Mercury did climb out of that deficit. In the second half, they were up by 1 point at some point.
Phoenix was or
Phoenix.
Lynx? Wow.
Yes. So
I was watching the game. I just don't remember.
You went from the Lynx being up 23 in the first half. In the second half, slowly but surely, Phoenix starts to climb their way back. And at some point, they're up 1 point, which was just insane. With about 30 seconds left, Bridget Carlton on the Lynx hit a dagger of a three. And it wasn't over at that point, but
it felt like
it was over. Like they were just all going nuts. And the shot she took, it was just a leaning to the side shot, hand in face. Like it was just a dagger.
That should be her nickname because she does that a lot.
Yes, the announcers were talking about that.
Bridget Dagger Carlton. I wanted to say Bridgerton. Bridgerton Dagger Carlton.
Nice. The Mercury ended the game with 14 threes, so they also were on fire. Diana Taurasi had 5 of those threes and Natasha Cloud had 4.
Wow.
Combining for 9 of the 14. They played really well.
Do you think the Mercury can extend this out to 3 games?
I think it's possible. It's hard to come back from a 23-point deficit, and they did it. If they can start the game hotter and not go down. I mean, Nafisa Collier started out the game ridiculously.
Yeah.
I think she had like 23 points in the first. If they can contain her a little more, I think it's possible, but the Lynx just look really good. So I'll be curious.
All right, so let's go through these. Do you think New York Atlanta Dream will go to 3 games?
No.
Not a chance.
Not a chance. Sorry, Atlanta.
We'll take all these back next week when we're proven wrong. Lynx Mercury?
Yes.
Okay. Connecticut Sun Fever?
Yes, I think Fever can pull one. They got crushed, but I think they're hungry. I think they could pull out at least one win.
That was a rough one on Sunday. Las Vegas Aces Seattle Storm?
Let me turn that one on you.
I think this one's definitely going to 3.
Going to 3.
Yeah.
All right.
I think that's going to be a good matchup.
We'll have to come back to this next week.
But if Connecticut Sun and Indiana Fever go to 3, that's going to be scary for the Connecticut Sun because they're going to be going back to Indiana. And already at Mohegan Sun, it's a kind of split crowd, Fever, Connecticut, because anywhere the Fever plays, there's just a ton of fans. And I'm like, oh boy, if they go back to Indiana, that's going to be a rough game.
It will be interesting. They did look scary good on Sunday too, though. You can tell they're out for blood. Dejanay Carrington literally fist pumped her chest at one point after a huge block.
Yeah.
You have Alyssa Thomas, who just is going nuts all the time.
Dewana Bonner was guarding Caitlin Clark, which just looks crazy, but was somehow working.
Yes. Marina Mabry was loving when
she went
Dejanay
off.
was talking shit, and Marina Mabry was just nailing threes. All these matchups, I think, has potential to go either way, but we'll continue to see and see where this takes us.
Let's get into the WNBA 2024 awards that happened.
Long awaited.
MVP, Asia Wilson. We knew this. Unanimous. I'm so happy for her.
So happy.
That means that every single person who voted put her in the number 1 spot. No number 2s, no number 3s, no number 4s, which you got previously. Everyone had her in the number 1 spot.
Really, really happy for Asia Wilson. I knew we weren't doing a blooper of the week, but that video, Asia was accepting some award and the older woman was like, Asia! And
Asia Wilson.
Asia Wilson.
That was so bad.
Asia's just sitting there like smiling. Anyways, that's not even funny because you should know her name.
I know. I think it was someone getting keys to the city. I don't know exactly the video. Someone's going to have to fact check us. But there was a woman who was definitely a politician trying to say Asia Wilson's name. And she was like,
Asia
Wilson.
Anyways, Rookie of the Year, the one and only Caitlin Clark.
Also unanimous.
Yeah. So congratulations to Asia on MVP and congratulations to Caitlin Clark on Rookie of the Year. Last episode when we spoke, you said
if you don't think she's Rookie of the Year, you're wrong.
You said the same thing about Asia as well.
Well, and are you only going to call her Asia now?
No, that's so wrong. You said that about Asia as well. Well deserved for both of them. Now let's get into some of the other awards. We have Coach of the Year, Cheryl Reeve from the Minnesota Lynx, which, no surprise, she was the coach of the Olympic team.
I know, but I didn't think she did great at coaching the Olympic team, but I think she does great with Minnesota.
We just talked about how good Minnesota Lynx is.
I know.
And I think coaching an Olympic team is hard. I think it's hard. You have the all-stars, you got to put people in places, but she's doing obviously a great, fantastic job with the Lynx.
I agree.
Next up, you got Defensive Player of the Year, and we were just talking about how good she is offensively, but Nafisa Collier, also Minnesota Lynx.
Sixth Player of the Year is Tiffany Hayes from the Las Vegas Aces, and Most Improved Player is Dearica Hamby from the LA Sparks, which I thought was a great choice.
And good for her with all of the other things she's been dealing with this year with her and Becky Hammon, the lawsuit that's been occurring. Mm-hmm. So for her to be able to get Most Improved Player while dealing with those outside things is really good for her.
For sure. And then Comeback Player of the Year is Skylar Diggins-Smith.
One of my
favorites. From the Seattle Storm.
Love her. She's talked really openly this year about her mental health and how hard it was to come back. We know that she really struggled at the Phoenix Mercury prior to joining the Storm after having a second kid. She talks about playing on her third body. I just know it's been hard for her. So to see her come back and be playing well, and I think she's really thriving at the Seattle Storm.
Yep.
It's really cool to see.
These were all from the Associated Press. Those were their awards, but we wanted to also give out awards. But we didn't want to give out Rookie of the Year awards or MVP awards. We already knew the answers to those. We've already had tons of discussions. So we decided that we were going to give out superlatives to the WNBA.
But before we do this, I want to know what superlative you won.
What superlative
in high school?
This is so rude.
I need you to share with the people what you won.
Okay, so I think I won Most Athletic.
What do you mean you think?
From what I remember, I think I did. Did you win any?
Yes, Most Athletic.
I think I did.
I don't think I know.
Okay, pretty sure I won Most Athletic.
I need to fact check this. Where's your yearbook?
I don't know. My mom definitely has it. Someone from my high school can let me know.
Okay, well, this is Danielle speaking. I know I won Most Athletic. Carolyn, what do you know you won?
I know I won. I can't even say it. I know I won Most Comfortable. Why does that make you laugh so much?
Because what does that mean?
It means I'm wearing exactly what I wore now to high school. I wore sweatpants and I wore t-shirts and I had my hair up probably in this exact bun. Nothing has changed. And it was pretty much an award that said, there's a best dressed and you're not it.
Wow.
You are the opposite of best dressed.
I love that. I don't even think my high school had Most Comfortable. To be fair, I probably would have won it too. But the fact that you won that and remember that is hilarious.
Our high school was so dumb too. First of all, I went to a high school with 100 kids. There were 96 kids that I graduated with. Our high school was so dumb. The parents would get so mad about the superlatives. So we weren't allowed to actually have them in the yearbook. Like they weren't printed in the yearbook. We had to do a piece of paper that was inserted into the yearbook that someone else had to create. And so, yeah, we got creative with the superlatives. I don't know why we did a Most Comfortable.
Because they were like, Carolyn needs to win something. So
I think I won Most Athletic.
I'm just messing with you.
Do we need to call one of my friends? I need to ask.
But that is too funny. Let's get into the WNBA superlatives. We're going to start with best dressed.
So I have a lot of ideas here.
My number one, the first person that came to mind when thinking about this is Skylar Diggins-Smith. I I just think she looks incredible no matter what she's wearing, first of all. Like, she could wear a paper bag and would look good. Yeah. And I think she wears really good outfits.
She strikes masculine and feminine so well. And sometimes she does it in the same outfit where she'll have masculine pants on and then throw on really feminine heels. She also takes a lot of risks, and I think they all hit, and she wears it with such confidence that it goes such a long way. I don't know if we're ever going to be able to choose just one person, so I'm just going to talk about all the people that I also like. Ike Gumbawale.
Yep.
Boot cuts and bucket hats. That was her theme this year. All of her shorts, all of her pants were a boot cut. She always rocked a cute bucket hat. She has her double piercings on her nose. She always looks good.
Another person that I think always looks good is Jackie Young. I think you never really know what she's gonna wear. She just pulls off these outfits and she just looks good in them.
She's another jacked person.
Yes.
I think what we're saying is we like girls with muscular arms. Okay, but best dressed rookie, Nico Mule, Seattle Storm. I know she doesn't score a lot of points. She just got her first couple points this past week with the Seattle Storm, but her outfits slay. She's always got cool sunglasses on. The visa on the t-shirt when she wasn't allowed to play because her visa wasn't approved yet. I mean, just so many good fits from her.
Yeah, she's cute. So next up, we got Class Clown.
My top class clown has got to be Sid Colson from the Las Vegas Aces. She is always joking around. She has such an amazing personality. She has done so many funny things. I'm just going to pick out the first one that comes to mind. She knew that Chelsea Gray had a new hairstyle with braids. And so she looked at Chelsea Gray's hair and then went out and got the exact same hairstyle as Chelsea Gray, the same braids, and came in and just stood next to her and was like, hey, I'm here with the same exact look as you. When Asia Wilson wasn't able to play in a couple of games, she would be next to Asia just hitting her with her elbow, just being pesky. And she just says really, really funny stuff. If you have her on social media or if you follow her on Twitter, it is always on point.
Yes. And for me, I think it's a mix with Erica Wheeler and Lexi Hull from Indiana Fever, because they are constantly posting pictures of each other wearing each other's outfits. And Erica Wheeler definitely dresses more mask and Lexi Hull dresses very feminine. When they switch outfits and they do the strut walk, it cracks me up. They've done a lot of these throughout the season, so I just think they together are the biggest class clowns.
Yeah, and I love Erica Wheeler's style as well. And honestly, I think she should be Lexi Hill's stylist. Yeah. I like Lexi Hill better in what Erica Wheeler's wearing. Another class clown, Camille Cardoso, who plays for the Chicago Sky. She is always on Instagram Live and just being ridiculous. Wigs on, always just saying crazy things. She seems really fun to be around.
Yes, she's very goofy. Next, we have Drama Queen. I think you and I can agree on this one. We love you, Caitlin Clark, but you know how to sell a call.
She really does. From flops to technical fouls to chirping at the ref, she really covers it all. When I say that Caitlin Clark is a drama queen, I mean it in a way that is complimentary. She can give you angry. She can give you excited. She can give you sad. She can give you happy. She gives it all in a span of one game. She'll hit a three. She'll look over at the crowd and ask, did that go in, to the opposing crowd? It's classic. She'll hit something underneath the basket. She'll hit the little WNBA logo, get a technical foul. She'll be chirping at the refs. She covers it all. She gives you all of it, which is why she's so fun to watch and why so many people love her.
Yes. And when she gets hit, she definitely knows how to sell it. There was a game recently where she hurt her wrist, I think it was. Afterwards, they were asking her about it, and she even said, I look soft. I watched the replay and I looked soft. So she can even admit that she sells a call. I just think it's funny.
Yeah, she gives the people what they want. And I love that they have a whole little team now within the Indiana Fever that is dedicated to holding her back so she does not get more technical fouls.
Yes. They call it the Caitlin Clark
de-escalation team.
Yes.
I love it.
Really funny.
So unanimous. She's Rookie of the Year, and she's also our Drama Queen of the Year.
Next up, we have Best Trash Talker. This is a tough one, honestly. There are a lot of good trash talkers in the league.
There are actually way too many, I would say. in the best way.
If you had to choose one, though, who is it?
I can't choose one. Can I choose the entire Connecticut Sun?
I know. I mean, I can choose one personally because I just think Dejanay Carrington is the biggest trash talker.
Yeah.
She's trash talking to the crowd. She's trash talking to the person in front of her. And she doesn't stop. She'll go down the court and just keep chirping. I just think she loves to trash talk. Yeah. And it fires her up and it gets her pumped up. And then she'll continue to play well because she does not care.
Yeah, it's part of her game. The same way that Caitlin Clark is going to give you so many different emotions in a game, Dejanay is going to give you that, and it's not going to affect her.
I think it's partially why she's so good at defense.
Yeah.
She knows how to get into a player's head. She is not messing around.
And she's on a team full of trash talkers. She's got Marina Mabry with her. She's got Alyssa Thomas with her.
I mean, the fact that Marina Mabry transferred from Chicago Sky to be on the Connecticut Sun with everyone and with Dejanay, scary. I would not want to play them.
So much chirping. I also think the entire Phoenix Mercury could be...
Oh, yeah. Diana Taurasi, forget it.
Sophie Cunningham.
Yeah.
Brittany Griner was getting attacked. Cock Hopper, Natasha Cloud, they're all chirping the entire game. They have the most technical fouls in the league.
It is very true.
I also think Jonquel Jones, especially against other bigs, she's a sneaky one. Whenever her and Aaliyah Boston are going at it, she is chirping. Jonquel Jones, when she's on someone one-on-one, I think she's trash talking quite a bit. But if I were to pick one person, I'm going back to Alyssa Thomas. So we're choosing two people from the Connecticut Sun.
You're telling me if you were to play against all these players, the person you wouldn't want to play against the most, I'm changing the scenario, because of trash talking, would it be Alyssa Thomas?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And like physicality, too.
But we're talking trash talking here.
Okay, so the end of the Minnesota Lynx game this past week, when it was still regular season, she is smiling at them. They're out on the court. The game's super close, knowing that she's getting ready to assist for a major score. She knows the game is happening before it's happening, and she is smiling like a Joker smile at everyone. Like, I'm going to show you bitches exactly what I'm about to do. Also, there's video of Marina Mabry, who's also a pro trash talker, on the bus saying that one time Alyssa Thomas told her to keep shooting when Marina Mabry was on the other team because it was helping them, because Marina Mabry's shooting percentage that game was so low. So Alyssa Thomas was like, keep shooting. So yes, that's the kind of trash talk, the ones that are true and that are so degrading that I'm most afraid of. Next up, we have team spirit. Who's got the most team spirit?
This is a tough one. I think my pick has to be Erica Wheeler from the Indiana Fever. She just goes nuts on the bench. I just feel like she's always so positive. She is always hyping people up. Yeah. So I think in terms of team spirit, that would be my pick. But there are a lot of people to choose from.
My team spirit, who's actually not a player, Ellie the Elephant.
Yeah, we love Ellie.
She reps New York so hard, is really such a good cartoon of what it is to be a New Yorker and shows it off at the games. I think that's so amazing. But I also have a bunch of players for team spirit. Brittany Griner, actually, it's more the X factor at the Phoenix Mercury rides so hard for Brittany Griner that I feel like it's such a good fit for her. That was one of my runner-ups. Diana Taurasi, same thing. Pretty much the Phoenix Mercury crowd, I think, is so good and rides so hard for their players. Diana Taurasi has been with the Phoenix Mercury since 2004. She has not been on another WNBA team. She didn't play for the Phoenix Mercury every year because one year her Russian team said, we'll pay you more to just not play. And we need to get into that at some point because yes, of course you would not play if your Russian team was paying you to stay there and continue to play. But anyway, I think Diana Taurasi in the Phoenix Mercury, I think that's a runner-up. But for me, I'm going Minnesota Lynx, Courtney Williams. So whenever the Minnesota Lynx win at home, they do the electric slide. Sounds like my personal nightmare. But Courtney Williams is always so into it. She does it. She gets everyone else involved. You know who I would look like? Alyssa Peely. If you've ever seen Alyssa Peely after do the electric slide, she's like looking around, stomping like, oh my God, I cannot believe I got drafted to this team that does this dance after every game. But I was watching an interview with Courtney Williams after a Minnesota Lynx game this past week, and she was so pumped up for the Minnesota Lynx that when she was leaving, she chest bumped the interviewer. I love that.
That's great.
So she's getting my team spirit award.
Next up, we have most athletic. This is a tough one.
There are so many people, again, that I want to talk about. So I have a lot of people in mind. Cock Hopper, so athletic. Ryan Howard. Those people that are always in the game, that are always giving you good points. That's what I was thinking about when thinking about this. Natasha Cloud, Jewel Lloyd. Those are, to me, the most athletic people in the league. The people that if we were to play 2-on-2 and they were all standing there, these are the people that I'm going to choose because I think that they're going to go a really long way and be able to do so much. But I'm choosing Jackie Young, Las Vegas Aces.
That's a fair pick. I do think guards naturally lean that way. I mean, they do more with the ball. They're quicker for the most part.
Who would you want to play every sport with?
I think Caitlin Clark's probably good at a lot of different sports.
That's
I think she was really good at soccer.
Yep.
I know she's good at golf. She's a hell of a basketball player. So when you put it that way, I think I have to go with Caitlin Clark as my most athletic.
Yeah.
I haven't seen these other players play other sports, so I'm not sure. But I know she's good at other sports, so that's my pick.
That's a good one.
So you go Jackie Young still?
Jackie Young still.
All right. So we got our top two there. Best couple.
Oh, there's so many.
Do you mean best couple like they have to be both in the league and dating? Or you just mean someone in the league who's dating someone? Or
someone in the league who's dating someone else.
Gotcha.
I'm only going to pick gay couples, though.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Why are you saying sorry to me?
Straight phobia.
Who's your top couple?
My top couple is actually two players in the league, and it's Dewana Bonner and Alyssa Thomas. They have their outfits picked out, and they always complement each other. And I don't like when couples are too...
That makes me cringe.
No, they're not too matchy-matchy. I hate when couples are in the same outfits. Ooh, oh my gosh. They wear complementary outfits. So there's some kind of underlying thing where if Dewana Bonner's in leather, Alyssa Thomas will have on leather shorts. There's some kind of thing that pulls it all together.
You say you hate couples who wear the same things, and yet we a lot of time
but we don't do it on purpose.
Same thing. We'll walk out of the room together. No, you'll go do your thing,
because
and then
I get ready first,
and I don't see you, and then I come out wearing something, and it's very similar, and you get mad. It's ridiculous.
It's not ridiculous.
But anyway,
people think we're sisters all the time. We can't be walking around in the same outfit.
I'm thinking about couples in the league both playing similar to what you just said, and a newer couple. Well, they were together, they weren't, and now they are. Dejanay Carrington and Alyssa Smith. I think they're a cute couple. I don't know how they're doing it now. Now they're playing each other in the first round of playoffs. Can't imagine that.
I wouldn't be talking to you. I'd be like, this is a no friend zone until we win.
I saw them interacting after the game, and obviously Alyssa Smith was upset with the loss.
Yeah.
But I think I'm going to go with them.
You know who else could win it?
Who?
Kelsey Plum by herself. Kelsey Plum's single is my favorite couple.
Yeah, I'm glad she dropped Darren Waller's ass. See ya.
And her single is so hot. She's just been throwing fits that are just so incredibly hot, and she just looks so much happier. Kelsey Plum's single is a great couple.
I love it. All right, two more. We got Best Smile.
Best Smile.
Who do you have?
I really just put this in as hottest.
Oh.
This was my vague attempt at who I think is hottest in the league.
Okay.
Do you have a guess on who I'm going to pick?
No. Who do you got?
Natasha Cloud.
Oh, yeah. I should have known this.
Because I said earlier in the episode,
I
love
this.
a little tooth gap. She's got a cute little tooth gap. She's got a great smile. Lets her whole teeth show, which I love when people smile with their teeth, because I also need to smile with my teeth because my mouth's so freaking big. I just love her. Love her tattoos. Love the way she styles her hair. Love her outfits, but also love her smile. So that's who I'm choosing. Who do you got?
Nicest smile, or are we going hottest?
Because
now you threw me off.
Well, I think Natasha Cloud has the nicest smile and is also the hottest.
I'm going Skylar Diggins Smith.
Ooh, is that your nicest smile or hottest?
We'll go both.
I see what you did here.
Uh-huh. And lastly, most likely to succeed.
I did this before the MVP was announced. I put Asia Wilson. I'm thinking most likely to succeed beyond basketball, right? Mm-hmm. When this basketball career is over, I think Asia Wilson is going to be doing some cool stuff. Maybe investing in a team or creating and paving the way for other players. I also think Kelsey Plum does a great job at that. I think Asia Wilson has that capacity. Start a team, own a team.
Yeah, I can see that. My way too early pick, I'm going to say it, Caitlin Clark. I think she's already so successful. I think she's a smart head on her shoulders. I think she knows what she wants. She's the most competitive person I've ever seen. Has deals left and right. Go figure, the MVP and the Rookie of the Year would be our picks. I think that's
Ooh, I have another one. Nneka Ogwumike.
Ah, yes. That's a great
She's going to be so successful.
I feel like
this.
because she's part of the players union, right?
Yes.
I feel like she's already really setting herself up for success after being a player. I feel like she's on her way.
She's already said, I want to be the commissioner of the WNBA one day.
That would be really cool. That's a great pick.
Yeah. Okay, so Asia Wilson, Caitlin Clark, we know, but like Nneka Ogwumike, she's most likely to succeed.
Yes.
Do you like this?
It was fun. I think we should post these on our Instagram and have some people vote.
Okay.
If you have a superlative we didn't cover and you have some ideas, let us know.
Send it over to us.
If you think we are completely off by any of our picks, would also love to hear that. So let us know.
Also, this just reminded me, I'm going to make another plug. We still have some more Women's Sports Weekly stickers, and we will send them out to you if you rate Women's Sports Weekly a number 5, a 5-star rating on Spotify or Apple or anywhere you listen, and you send us a screenshot. And with that, I will write you a handwritten note, and people seem to really be enjoying these handwritten notes that I send out. Please get yourself a Women's Sports Weekly sticker.
Please rate us, subscribe to the podcast. It does help other people find us and puts us above other podcasts.
Yeah.
If you enjoy it, we would really appreciate the rating. It's a simple click of a button and a subscribe. It will really help us out.
I listen to so many podcasts and I hear them say it over and over and over again. Now I understand why, because it really, really does go a long way. Someone we met at the WNBA watch party this past week was like, I really want you guys to do 2 episodes a week. And we also want to do 2 episodes a week. But in order to do that, we need to get some sponsorship dollars and we need more people to listen. Let's get into what we're looking forward to this week. Danielle, what do you have for us?
Earlier, I talked about NCAA volleyball. Number 1 Pitt has been off to a historic start, and they have an upcoming game on Friday, September 27th at 7 p.m. Eastern against Clemson University. So be on the lookout for that game.
Boo Tigers. Go Pitt.
What do you have for us?
We have game 2 of round 1 of the WNBA playoffs today, Tuesday, September 24th, when we release. The Dream play the Liberty at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. Storm versus Aces play at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. And then the following day, Wednesday, September 25th, the Fever play the Sun at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, and the Mercury play the Lynx at 9:30. This is going to be a huge game because this first round is best of 3. So if the team who won the first game wins the second game, they move on to the next round.
Yes. So that's it for this week. We will see you next week on Women's Sports Weekly. In the meantime, watch women's sports. Rate and subscribe to the pod on Spotify, Apple, and YouTube. Share the podcast with your friends. Keep sending us topics you want us to cover on Instagram at Women's Sports Weekly Pod. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.